the delusion of the Canadian government. That's that guy. But I'll show you. I'll show you something here. Screenshot. Schizophrenia usually begins in the late teens or early 20s for men. They said it developed schizophrenia at 42. And after I posted a video from August 21st, 2019, saying that they were going to use schizophrenia as an excuse against me. So they also said I exhibited psychotic behavior based on my deceased brother. Let me change it here. I just gotta pop it. Based on my deceased brother, and I'm at the Surrey hospital, and Nisha looked like Amanda Burton with her makeup on, who was my deceased brother's widow. Anyways, here's the video. So, 83 Gilder Drive, where I used to live as a child. Number 4. So long and short, I'll just explain why I'm here. More or less, when I arrived back from Canada, seeking asylum from Denmark, the police were waiting for me at the airport. I'm like, okay, well, what's this? I didn't let anybody know, even Canada, didn't let anybody know I was coming back. So I didn't let these people know I was coming back. And I used to live right there. And anyways, so next thing you know, so I didn't let anybody know I was coming back. So I get to the hospital, and the doctor was like, well, your brother said that you tossed him down the garbage chute when you were a kid. I'm like, oh, really? Garbage right there. So I was 12 when I moved out of here, and he was about 10. So maybe if he allowed me, but there was zero medical records whatsoever that he was ever tossed down. And this is on the 4th floor. So really, that's twice. There's twice that that they use that he's like, oh, he threw me down the garbage chute, and it's like, whoa, that's not even possible, man. Like, how could you do it? Like, would you post it? Well, like, come on. So anyway, sarcasm is a sign of a healthy mind, and so this time when I got hospitalized, basically, I'm just gonna make sure that. So when I got hospitalized, I seen my sister in September. She got married, and I didn't take medication for about a year at that point. So she didn't see any issue then. And then I had 4 phones stolen from me since September 2024. Like I didn't have reasonable enjoyment of my place. And so I came home. I paid rent September 1st, September 2nd. All my belongings were out on the road. So I went to the police station, and I'm like, well, can you help me out, get back in my place? And the cop that was working there, well, first of all, I felt 3 dabs of liquid on my leg as soon as I walked in the police station. And so here's the evidence of that in the subliminal system. So anyways, so I asked the cop, because he kept on mentioning the Innkeepers Act. I'm like, well, that doesn't relate to my situation. And then, so, I've said that several times, and he kept on mentioning the Innkeepers Act. I'm like, well, how long have you been a cop for? He's like, 20 years. I'm like, well, did you ever call the landlord-tenant board? He's like, no. I'm like, well, I did. They said that not only would I not get evicted, it would take months to go to court, and I'd get a sue them and win. Because I have video proof on my social media that I didn't have reasonable enjoyment. I'd go out for a cigarette, and they start stashing the chairs. Like, the smoke chairs. Like, there was a table in the backyard. I put the chair by the table, and then I'd go out for a smoke, say, like 10 in the morning. I'd come out for a smoke, like, say, at 12. The chair was stashed. They kept on stashing the chairs. Then they threw out all the chairs. So I didn't have reasonable enjoyment of the place. I get a sue for that. So I should have been homeless. Right? So they're saying that my mental health degraded to a point that I became homeless. That's not the case. So anyways, I see my sister in September, and she didn't notice an issue, and I wasn't medicated for over a year because I don't need it. And so then I didn't contact her. Like, I don't know about you, like, Do you contact your adult siblings all the time? I don't. Right, I was in contact with my son all the time. And so I called her on her birthday on February 28th, and she didn't tell me that she put a missing persons, she said that it was missing, that it was a missing person. She didn't tell me this when I called her on her birthday. Like, her birthday is February 27th. I called her February 28th. And so I was informed then for my mental health. And in fact, I seen a police officer. He said if I was to run for prime minister, he'd vote for me, right? And another incident where the street nurse was there, and I challenged him about the system, and then the police ushered him off the camera on film. As soon as I start challenging him about the subliminal system, watch how shocked he looks when I tune in the street nurse. Watch my face, my expression. So you see, I tune them in because people could tune into your brainwaves. Like, our brain's made up of water. Water conducts electricity. And you can kind of see it. I have a metallic molar, so they bounce signals off that molar, and then they could transmit and receive a signal. Our thoughts are just sounds at a lower frequency. You know what's at a different frequency that could be transmitted and heard remotely? The radio station. Right? So people could listen to your thoughts. In the Charter of Rights, I'll just show you here. Like, in the Charter of Rights, they have freedom of thought specifically because they know that they could listen to your thoughts. Charter of Rights, freedom of thought. So search Charter of Rights practices freedom of thought specifically. Of thought, belief, opinion, and expression. So they know that, like, George Orwell wrote a book called 1984 about the thought police. Lucille Ball had some dental work done in 1942 at the height of World War II, and she could hear a radio station that only she could hear in her head. And Buster Keaton told her that it was the dental work. So what they do is they bounce signals off your dental work, and then they highlight regions of your brain. Your brain waves are measured in hertz, just like your television, right? So that's why, and I'll just show you right here. So the government of Canada in America knows frequency of emotions. So there's all the frequencies of emotions that they know. Or frequency weapons. There's weapons, like the Russians have a gun that could implant thoughts in your brain. Like this gun right here could implant a thought in your brain. There's where they broadcast frequencies in your brain. So this is known technology, but it's hidden in plain sight. So once again, schizophrenia for males is from teens to early 20s. So why did they say, when I was 42, why did they say I was schizophrenic? So they're saying, well, he's schizophrenic, psychotic, bipolar. Well, I've never exhibited any bipolar characteristics on any of my. I have over 1,000 videos on several YouTube channels and TikTok channels. Bipolar means you're like, wow, I'm so excited today, guys. And then the next video, you're like, I can't get through the fucking day. Right? That's bipolar. It means you have really highs and really lows. I haven't exhibited any characteristics. I'm really sarcastic. And that's a sign of a healthy mind. The day that I was hospitalized, like, mankind, like, I have a generation of different biology than you. There's videos on my TikTok profile that shows different pectoral muscles. I'll show you right now. Different pectoral muscles than every other human. So I have different biology. So anyways, mankind, like, your biology, you thought for over like thousands of years that the egg came before the chicken. And not once did you consider, like, I don't know about you, I've never seen a bird eggs on the ground. They're always up in trees. So how did the egg, I was super sarcastic in this video, this is why I got formed. I'm like, well, how the fuck did the egg get up in the tree, basically? Then I'm like, how the fuck did the egg build a nest? And how the fuck did it incubate itself? Most importantly, eggs require incubation. They require a hen to sit on the egg to keep it warm enough that it becomes a chick. So the first egg could never have been born first. It had to come from a chicken, well, a hen. But it's really sarcastic. So this is a generation of biology. Watch how he flexes his muscles, and then watch how my muscles.
So I'll just show you again this pectoral dance, and
So
you can see how
but you see on his muscles, his pectoral muscles stop right there, but mine go all the way up here. When you see mine go up, mine are higher because I got different muscles.
pectoral is different than mine.
You see his
I'll show you
muscles?
mine.
See,
It's a general biology.
Don't touch mine.
So this is my pectoral muscle. You'll see how it goes all the way up at the top. So it goes all the way up there.
Right there.
It goes all the way up there.
See me flexing it all the way. See how it goes considerably higher.
See how high up it goes. I got evolved human biology.
So the guy, like I'm at the hospital, they didn't give me an X-ray, and I'll show you right on film. I'll show you right on film. Looking down human foot. See if we can find. So they made a typo of the G there. They hacked my phone to rate my human experience here. It takes trillions of dollars to simulate that. Looking down. Not that one. I think this one right here I should be able to see. So I'm just going to take a screenshot. I'll show you. See if I can find a different one. This one's a little better. This one's better. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So once again, I requested an X-ray. They didn't give me an X-ray. They're saying that this is Mary Antoinette's. This kid looks like me, Louis the 17th. I believe this kid was born on my son's birthday. Mary Antoinette was born on my uncle's birthday. This guy looks like me. This is the king of Denmark. I look like everybody. There's my mom. So anyways, here is, you can see there's no bone right here. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to find a better picture because they're kind of off to the side. So I'm just gonna pause it while I find a better picture. So, I'm such a, I'm trying to scrutinize this to make sure, right? So I'm just going to delete these pictures here real fast. Excuse me. Okay, so here it is. You can see how there's really no indentation right here, and there's their ankle right there, and there's no bone right there. I'll show you my foot. I'll show you my foot. So you can see there's my ankle. I got a bone right there, and then it goes in like that, and I got a bone right there. So I got different bones. And then right here, see that right there? That's my sternum. I got a different sternum than every other human. And once again, I'm going to try to do this. When I try to do this, they make the camera move because I'm looking away from the camera, so they're able to hack my hands to make it so it doesn't show up on film. But I'm going to adjust the chemicals in my brain, the testosterone and estrogen. So my voice is going to sound loud and then lower. And then I'm going to adjust my voice box. And you're going to see if a doctor was to feel my voice box when I do this, when I'm adjusting testosterone and estrogen, it doesn't shake as much. But when I adjust the voice box in my voice box, it shakes more. Like if they were to feel this. And they haven't given me the opportunity to prove this. So once again, this is me adjusting the estrogen or testosterone in my brain. And this is me adjusting the estrogen in my brain. So this is me adjusting the testosterone in my brain. And this is me adjusting the estrogen. Now this is me changing the voice in my voice box, and you can see how much my voice box is shaking. And if you see my voice, how much it's shaking when I do this, my voice is actually moving more because I'm changing it with my voice box, not my brain. So once again, this is me adjusting the testosterone and the estrogen, and my voice barely changed. My My mouth barely changed shape because I'm adjusting the chemicals in my brain. So it's impossible for me to have a chemical imbalance. So once again, they said that my brother said I tossed him down a garbage chute, and it took over 30 years for them to try to make this diagnosis, like that I had a mental health issue. I posted a video online saying that they were going to use schizophrenia as an excuse. And schizophrenia typically happens in men in their late teens to early 20s. They said I developed schizophrenia at 42. And I've never exhibited any bipolar characteristics. So, and I've never been convicted of any assaults or any assault causing bodily harm or anything like that. So how did they say that I have a psychotic tendency? Right, and I'll just show you some script. I'll show you proof here. I'll show you proof. Okay, so there's Nikola. That's one of the last Russian kings. There's what I look like. So look at the eyes, and the eyes and the brow bone. So that's the Russian king. That's what I look like in 19. There's a sexual profiling system. This is how good looking I am. I've been raped my entire life. This is my mom. Where's the wrong way? So there's my mom. There's one of the Japanese emperors that looks like me. I'm trying to show you here. But there's the Japanese emperor who looks like my mom. So once again, there's this. There's the Japanese emperor's mom. I'm born on the same day as her. There's my mom. Oh, here's a better picture. This one. There's where I look like my mom looks like more like her. Somebody hacked me to say there's where I look like her. Somebody's pretending to be my mom right now. That's what came out of it. So there's like my mom that looks like the Japanese emperor's mom. My mom, Japanese emperor's mom. And then here's Edward or George VI that looks like me, my twin. Here's my dad. He looks like Frederick III. I'll show you right here. So here's the here's subliminals that they have in my ashtray in a profiling system. Here's subliminals that they have on the sidewalk. And here's how wrinkled my face was in January. And here's Captain James Cook that looks like me at Trafalgar Square in London, England. Here is a royal invitation that my family went to. I'm saying that I'm royal. My dad had servants. My grandfather had servants. His dad had servants. So he's the part of the royals. You can see where it says princess right there. And Louise, Princess Louise. And this was from 1894. And at the back of the invitation, it said Colin Campbell. So when I did a search on this guy looks like me. He looks like my mom's brother. And he looks like my dad. His birthday was October 20th. My birthday's October 20th. He died August 14th. My first cousin died August 14th. My uncle's son. Right, so we share the same day. And my mom died August 13th. So here is King Ludwig of Bavaria. Looks like my mom's brother. And here's his wife, Therese, who looks like my mom's sister. Here is Augustus Victoria. And she was Queen Victoria's oldest daughter. Here's my daughter. They look identical. And here is Frederick III, who looks like my dad, identical to my dad. Here's Edward VIII, who looks identical to me. Here's Marcus Aurelius, who looks identical to me. Here's my DNA profile, which covers the entire planet except the white area. And if I were to subpoena a geneticist and be like, okay, well, what do telomeres do? They're going to be like, well, telomeres control aging. I'll be like, okay, well, how come mine telomeres don't have end loops on it? They would say, well, you should age remarkably well. Okay, so that explains how come my face looked like this in January and how come I don't have wrinkles in May. Right, and here is back muscles. Here's what typical back muscles look like for generational biology. You can see those indentations right there. Now here's my back muscles. I don't have those indentations because I have different muscles than regular people. My son has different muscles than me. And here is proof that computer-assisted telepathy is possible with technology. This video right here, I haven't watched these ones, but this video shows that they were able to influence a thought. And you could hear me speak out of context a couple times, where when I showed my mom, when some woman pretended to be me, my mom at that point, like through me. And here is a band 100 where they and first of all, August 28th, 2024, I realized that they could implant, like they were able to steal my breath and steal DNA to access my system. So August 28th, 2024, I posted a video saying that they're going to be able to make me say things that I don't intend to say with that technique. That's why I'm speaking, like first of all, I've been told by 2 people I'm the smartest person that they've ever met. I've been the first in the world in 2 games, one of them a math game. And with Wi-Fi currency, basically paper money, I could, if there's large quantities of paper money, if they're together, I can make it so it's encrypted on the internet. And then so police could track drug proceeds. So if they go to a bridge to buy drugs, the police are going to know, like, wow, there's $50,000 together all at once. That's suspicious. And then they could monitor it on the internet and then track the criminal network. I came up with this technology 7 years ago. I came up with a telescopic shotgun idea for the cops. And one of the people that said that I had a mental health issue, they're like, well, he was talking about a shotgun. Well, basically with a shotgun, it's like a long barrel shotgun, so they're downrange. And then should the people approaching the police, they'd be able to turn it into a sawed-off shotgun, so it would go out in a wider formation, non-lethal rounds. Telescopic shotgun for the police. I came up with Wi-Fi currency for the police, right? Not for drug dealers, for the police. And I'm not a rocket scientist, but not one fucking rocket scientist put a magnetic field around our satellites. Basically, our sun has coronal mass ejections or solar flares. The last time, I'll just show you here. I forget the exact year, but this is all scientific proof. All I do is put scientific proof online there, because basically they're trying to abduct my life, steal my life, right? But if you kick and scream, it's harder to be fucked over, right? So all I do is put evidence online, kicking and screaming, so my life doesn't get fucked over. So once again, they're making so I'm not connected to the internet now, but if you look at the top, it shows that I have internet connectivity. I used to do tech support for the internet. I basically created the internet with part of my brain, my subconscious. I'm just going to pause it till it loads. So, yes, a powerful solar flare, specifically a geomagnetic storm known as the Caribbean event in 1859, caused widespread telegraph disruption and failure. These storms induced massive currents in long wires and telegraph lines, leading to sparks, fires, and even shocks. So basically, not one fucking rocket scientist put a satellite in outer space with a magnetic field that would protect it against solar flares and geomagnetic storms. So meaning, if a solar flare hit Earth, it's going to knock out the internet. Life as we know is done, gone. We don't have the infrastructure that we used to have to rely on anything other than the internet. But I posted this online 6 years ago, and I guarantee you very few satellites have went up into outer space without any magnetic field around it. They're fucking idiots. Like, our planet has a magnetic field around it to protect our atmosphere from not being destroyed by solar storms, right? But none of these fucking idiots that put a satellite in outer space put a magnetic field around our satellites to protect our civilization, right? And they didn't implement other strategies that I had. Like, they didn't put satellites around other planets in our solar system looking for asteroids that are heading towards Earth, particularly from the direction of our sun. Like, say it's from where that light is, around my corner is, where, like, say the satellite's coming from here. We had barely any time to react to the asteroid and deflect it away from Earth. Almost no chance. Life as we know is going, done. But Christian Eric Arnie Meyer posted online over 6 years ago when I was in Denmark that we should put satellites around planets in our solar system so we would see different trajectories of asteroids head towards Earth, like particularly from the sun, to give us more advanced warning, like years notice, decades notice, not months notice. And nobody else used quantum computing or artificial intelligence to redirect the sun's light away from the depleted region of the ozone, right, making it cooler, like ideal for Earth.
Earth's temperature is rising because of the depleted ozone region. The depleted ozone, right? There's a hole in the ozone, so it's causing the Earth to heat up. So eventually, life, like, there's gonna be no fish. Then, like, the food that we rely on isn't gonna be able to. We're not gonna be able to eat food. We're gonna have no food because these animals are gonna die. People, we might be able to survive because we have jackets and controlled heating. But animals, our food supply is at stake. But so I posted these 3 ways to save civilization. I got less than 100 views online. I put a guy on a straight flush. There was 2 straight flush capabilities, and there was a king of clubs, 8 clubs. There was a 4 of a kind. There was 3 full houses. There was a 3 of a kind, and 3 2 pairs. The odds were at least over 1 in 25.6 million or 1 in 30.3 million. Right, so I would have had to play millions upon millions of hands for the situation to occur. And I was accurate the very first time. I posted it on film. I got 25 views on YouTube, 0 likes, because I have a bunch of haters, a bunch of closet haters, because they don't want me to save the world. Especially when, I'll show you what it looked like as a baby. There's a sexual profiling system, like generational pedophiles around the world. And I'll show you what it looked like as a baby. Like, this is what I looked like at 40. This is what I look like. That's what my daughter looked like. This is what Jesus looked like. I'm related to Jesus. This is the second last German emperor who looks like me. This is a descendant from Cook Islands who looks like my dad and me. So I'm just going to pause it. So once again, this is what I look like at 19. I was offered a modeling tryout in New York City, but I turned it down because I wanted my brain to be known rather than my beauty. They said I was too muscular, and that was another reason. But I wanted my brain to jump out on the internet, not my beauty. This is my beautiful mom, and this is me as a baby. I came out gorgeous. I've been very photogenic my entire life, except for when human hijackers hijack me and Sault Marie. Then I'm fugly at times. Fugly is fucking ugly when somebody's fugly. Anyways, this is enough evidence to prove that, they should have given me an x-ray. Once again, positron emission tomography would prove that it's impossible for me to have a chemical imbalance. I showed them my DNA, so a blood test would show that I'm the true royal. And King Charles just came to Canada to let Canada know that the king fucking runs the country. That's why the Queen's on the $20 bill. Eventually, I'm going to be on the $100 bill. My name's Christian Eric Artie Meyer. Eventually, I'm going to be Eminence Cristiano Meyer Diggins.